Am I the asshole for hiding behind the couch so my sister wouldn't hand her screaming baby to me? Throwaway because my sister is on Reddit. My 14 female sister Della, 19 female, is in college. She took her second semester off because she recently had a baby, Roxy, 0 female. She knows who the father is, but they aren't in a relationship. Della came back home for the semester break to make it easier for her. Roxy has these meltdowns, don't have a better word, where she's cranky, tired, and is just screaming her head off. When I sing a certain song to her by a pop band I love, she calms down. I have to sing to her for an hour or more. I am not a good singer, but Roxy likes it anyway. It also works when she's just normal fussy crying. Della always hands Roxy to me when she cries, especially during her meltdowns. Della and I had an argument a week ago, about the stupidest thing. Della wanted me to stop singing a song under my breath while I was making myself a snack, and I said she can't control me. It wasn't about the noise, it was about her thinking that I'm a terrible singer and not wanting to be subjected to that god-awful noise. She told me that I was a selfish, lazy asshole who doesn't care about anyone but herself, and I said that fine, since my singing is so bad, I wouldn't calm Roxy with it. She said fine. On Thursday, when I got home from school, my parents were working and Roxy was having one of her meltdowns. Della tried to hand me Roxy. I said no, my singing is crap and I didn't want to subject anyone to it, and walked away. Then I hid behind the couch so she wouldn't be able to force me into helping with Roxy. Della thought I'd gone to a friend's, and didn't look for me for a while, until she decided to call me to see when I'd be home. She heard the phone ring, and was furious that I didn't come out and help her. My parents are telling me it was super immature to hide. Della is a stressed, sleep-deprived teenager and she needed me then and I wasn't there for her. And now I don't know. They want me to apologize, and I don't want to, but maybe I was just being petty and Della was just tired. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Della's baby is not your baby. You are a 14-year-old child. If she's so stressed she should be looking into some sort of child support or help from the father, but forcing her baby on her 14-year-old sister is not okay. I mean, that was a super immature way to deal with it, but one. You're a kid, so you're allowed to be immature too. That's not your baby and you aren't responsible for always being the one to calm her down. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You are 14 years old. You have no obligation to be a babysitter every time your sister requires. You are not responsible for wrong decisions that your adult sister has made. She is the one that should be able to learn how to calm her baby. It was sweet of you to help her so far. But it's not your duty whatsoever. Not the asshole. You are also a teenager. I would have a conversation with your parents without Dalla there to discuss that you are a child. Helping the family unit as things like doing chores, dishes, do your own laundry, etc. Or small things like putting groceries away when someone comes home from the store. It is not being the second parent to your sister's child. The solution to a stressed, sleep-deprived teenage parent is not to add a stressed, sleep-deprived teenage aunt to the childcare mix. Not the asshole. You didn't get to decide if she had that baby. In no way is that baby your responsibility. Della is tired because she chose to have a baby and be tired for the rest of her life. Not the asshole. Her baby is her problem, not yours. NTA, you are not immature, you're a child. Yes, it's nice to help your sister with her new baby, but you don't have to. She just has to learn that you can't be unkind to those who are helping you. Also, you don't have to give up your childhood for your sister. Please don't become this kid's mom. Becoming a parent was entirely your sister's choice. Not the asshole, not your monkey. Go enjoy your life. That kid is 0% your responsibility. Your sister needs to figure out her own shit. Pawning her kid off on you all the time is not reasonable. Am I the asshole for backing out of cooking for my husband after he hid my keyboard? Last night IF34 was on my computer when my husband came home from work. He seemed a bit annoyed when he saw me and asked if I cooked dinner. I'm the SAHP with 2 kids. One of them is 9 months old and my husband is the sole income earner. I said not yet and he got mad at me for not doing it earlier and spending so much time on the keyboard. I write novels as a hobby. But I told him I just sat down after finishing the chores and the kids' mess. We argued for a few minutes, then I told him I'd finish this part real quick then go to the kitchen to make dinner. Almost 2 minutes went by and my husband barged into the room, removed the keyboard and took it to hide it. I asked why he was doing this and he said that he had to because I made him do it when I kept stalling to make dinner. I told him to give it back, but he said that it has become a distraction at this point and I've become neglectful of my duties because of it. He said from now on out he'll keep it hidden, then give it back when I'm done with everything. I called him ridiculous and said that I only asked for few minutes to cook dinner. He said fine, he'll give it back after I prepare dinner, but I decided to back out of cooking, which caused a screaming match between us. I told him he could go cook if he was so hungry, but I won't cook after he hid my keyboard. He yelled saying he's the sole income earner and I wasn't holding my part of the deal of taking care of the house and kids, then stormed off. He went to bed without eating and in the morning we fought again. He said I was wrong to back out of cooking and wrong for letting a hobby get in the way of doing my part of parenting and housekeeping. I said he shouldn't have hid my keyboard, but he said it's the reason we're having a problem and he couldn't believe his last resort was to hide it to get me to focus on more important stuff. He left for work and came back hours ago refusing to speak to me. Is he right in this disagreement? Okay, I admit I didn't read all this because the red flags were overwhelming. He demanded dinner? He took your keyboard? He blamed you for his actions? The man is controlling and abusive. Seriously, think hard about this relationship. Edit. So seems I should have made a judgment, so not the asshole. You ask who is right in the situation. You're not just right, you're in danger. This man is acting as if he owns you or like he's paying for your service. Instead, he should be acting like your partner. I hope you take this situation seriously. You're 100% not the asshole. You are his wife, not his maid. You don't work for him. You aren't at his beck and call. Do not cook a single morsel of food until he apologizes to you. Not the asshole. So were your kids safe while you were on the computer? Because that's your job. Your job does not include cooking, cleaning, laundry, or any of the other shit he spewed. You are not an indentured servant, and he is not your boss. He works 8 hours a day, you wake up to bedtime. I'd cut the crotches out of his pants. But I'm petty. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Neglecting your duties. WTF? I guess there will be another duty that you should neglect for quite a while, because who would want to have sex with that asshole? He sees you as the wife appliance, to be used for his convenience only. Not the asshole. He said, you made him do it, that concerns me. Abusers say that frequently. He put all of this on you and wouldn't accept that he had any part in the issues. Maybe I am overreacting, but that is a scary warning sign to me. You did take care of the house, and the kids, assuming they'd already had their supper. You did not sign up to be his mommy too. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I say this in all seriousness, back up your novels. Put them on a multiple USB drives and hide that shit. It might sound dramatic. But just from past experience, do it. Also, this behavior is incredibly controlling. You are allowed to do things other than parent, clean, and cook when you are the SAHP. Your duties were done. It wasn't 9 o'clock at night, I'm assuming, and y'all weren't starving. You did not force his hand. He is completely responsible for acting like a giant dick. Has he ever acted like this before? Because this is just alarming behavior. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she doesn't have to come to my wedding? My sister has 2 children, an 8-year-old and a newborn. Our wedding, 1.5 years away, is supposed to be child-free with the exception of siblings because my fiancé and I both have large age gaps between us and our siblings. He has a 3, 4, and 12-year-old brother, and I have a teenage brother. I also have my sister and older brother. Obviously we want our siblings at our wedding, even if they're kids, and it breaks our child-free rule. For our wedding, we're renting out a huge Airbnb for a week, a literal mansion, where the wedding and reception will be, and invited all immediate family to stay with us for the week as our first family vacation as an official family. I love my nephews, I really do, but my fiancé and I wanted to plan a bunch of adult, couples events like wine tasting, e-bike tours, snorkeling, etc. And I don't want kids with me when we do it. The host was nice enough to match us with some babysitters that he frequently works with for events just like this, so the other kids, our younger siblings, will stay at the Airbnb with the babysitter, but our parents know they have to pay for the babysitter. My fiancé and I are paying for all of the adult events we have planned, like the wine tasting and tours, etc. And they're okay with it. We want them to pay for childcare simply because I don't want to be responsible for anyone's children for the entirety of the wedding and vacation afterwards. Financially or emotionally. There will be plenty of things for the kids to do at the Airbnb as well. My sister said it's not fair that our siblings are invited but not my nephews, and I told her if I broke the child-free rule for everyone I loved, there would be no child-free rule. She told me that if I'm not allowing kids, I have to pay for childcare and find someone to stay with them for a week. I told her no. She said, I'm not paying for a babysitter, and I told her, then don't come. I was pissed she was trying to manipulate me into paying for childcare when I'm literally offering her an all-expense vacation. The only thing she has to pay for is childcare for her own children. I told if she was going to make my wedding about her, I don't want her there. She then flipped out and called me every name she could think of, so I yanked her invite altogether and told her I'd send her pics of the wedding and vacation afterwards so she can see where her selfishness got her. My family is super close to each other and I love my nephew, so everyone was very surprised I made the wedding child-free, but after I yanked my sister's invite, people started to also decline the invite. My response has pretty much been, you aren't punishing me the way you think you are. All you're doing is saving me money, but if you don't come support me on my love day, I expect me to go no contact. Now everyone is pissed at me. I think this may have come off as a bit bridezilla, but I don't think I owe any of them anything honestly. It's my wedding. Am I being a selfish Edit. I don't think I made clear that my family is holding their attendance over my head, and are saying, if you don't invited your sister and nephews, I won't come either. So I told them, don't come, but I didn't appreciate the way they were trying to manipulate my decision, so I told them if they don't come, I'm going NC. Edit 2. I told her she could come for the wedding and not stay for the vacation, but she wanted both. I only uninvited her after she said a bunch of nasty stuff to me. The exception to the child-free rule is for immediate family only. There will be things for the kids to do at the Airbnb. And a lot of people are saying, wait till you have kids, but I would just not come to the wedding. I would choose my kids over the wedding. To me, it's my love day, but I understand to everyone else it's just a stupid wedding lol, and I'm okay with that. No one has to come that doesn't want to, and I'm okay with TABT, it's completely understandable. But people that are not coming out of spite of the situation, I take a problem with. Update. After reading all of the comments telling me no one cares about our wedding, the vacation doesn't sound like it'd be fun at all. I'm being controlling. I'm being a selfish and an entitled bridezilla. I clearly don't value my family, etc., etc. My fiancé and I have decided to cancel our wedding altogether. We'll have a small ceremony for us and our parents, and then my husband and I will use the big beautiful mansion we rented out as our honeymoon. We'll message the Airbnb host tomorrow about moving the date up. We're very excited. I realized neither of us wanted to cater to anyone because the only people that matter when it comes to our marriage is us. Fuck everyone else lol. To everyone saying that child-free wedding are egotistical, no one cares about your kids lol. I love kids, I really do, but no one should have to cater to your kids' needs except you. Thank you all for making me realize how stupid family weddings are. We don't need them present to have our happily ever after. We'd prefer to avoid the drama altogether. That's all. Edit 3. LMAO00 stop coming at me for calling it my love day. And to those who asked, yes, I did get that phrase from Grey's Anatomy. Stop roasting me though. Rolling on the floor laughing. Rolling on the floor laughing. I'll update with family's reaction to wedding cancellations tomorrow. Edit 4. OMGGGG I get it. It's not a child-free wedding, because siblings will be there. How about this, no children allowed except siblings? Is that better? It's all semantics that T-boyfriend don't matter. Final update here. Not the asshole people have child-free weddings all the time, my wedding was child-free. Siblings are way different than nieces and nephews, sorry but it's true. No one is entitled to come to your expenses-paid vacation wedding. Especially not if they want you to pay for their childcare on top of a free trip. Not the asshole. People have child-free weddings and events all the time. It's your call on how you want your wedding and related events to go. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask for them to pay for childcare when you're paying for the adult activities. Hold to your boundaries. You're still including them, just maybe not how your sister expected or would like. Not the asshole for how you want your wedding. But you have to consider this as a big ask for your family. Siblings stay with a stranger in a mansion for a week while everyone else has fun, and family members with a choice of attend the wedding but don't see your baby for a week or bugger off. I get you are paying and that's generous, but it definitely isn't a deal some people would want to take. I don't think you're the asshole for wanting a child-free wedding, or maintaining that boundary when your sister asked you to make an exception for her. But the way you describe your reaction does strike me as extreme and leaning toward asshole status. Sounds like you both went hard and fast, so I'm going to say esh. I'd probably have said something like, I understand you may have to make a choice here, and no hard feelings either way, but this is our decision and we're ticking to it. Also, pointing out that the wedding is a year and a half away, which gives her plenty of time to make arrangements for the kids, might also have been helpful. I'd send her pics of the wedding and Vaca after to see where her selfishness got her. You are the asshole. Not the asshole, but are you honestly surprised that this problem is coming up? Paying for childcare is really expensive. I think you'll find more people dropping out because of this. I think you're being a bit naive. You can't have failed to realize that it would be an issue, surely? You are the asshole. Your wedding isn't child-free. Making an exception for your immediate family to be able to attend should be a no-brainer. It's so unrealistic to expect her to leave her kids for a whole week. I think it's fair she's upset to be excluded. Your attitude in the comments is gross. You are judgy and rude. Do you even like your sister? You are being a bridezilla. Esh. For a child-free wedding you are allowing quite a few kids. How many children do you and your fiancé's siblings have? Including her kids in immediate family does not seem unreasonable unless there are tons of nieces and nephews, and it will turn your wedding into a child's party. Her response was ridiculous. This is your sister, you both need to fix this. As far as other guests who cancelled, your response was childish even if them cancelling was a dick move. It sounds like your wedding is turning more into a bickering match than a special occasion. You don't want to remember your wedding this way. You have another 1.5 years of misery plus the aftershocks if you don't fix this now. Would I be the asshole if I contact my daughter's teacher about comments he made in class about my profession? At dinner tonight, my 13-year-old daughter says, "My social studies teacher hates you." I giggle and ask why I've never met the guy. She proceeds to tell me that while learning about the Constitution in class today, he went on a rant about public defenders, saying some very disrespectful things about their ability to do a good job. Well, I'm a public defender. I love my job and the work I do. In fact, I left my last job doing corporate defense litigation and took a substantial pay cut to come to my county's public defender's office. I'm constantly faced with clients who are reluctant to accept that I'm a real attorney, due to ignorant comments like the ones my daughter's teacher made to her class, and fortunately, I prove them wrong, as I'm very good at my job. I'm really fighting the urge to send him a scathing email or call him to let him know how much I don't appreciate him telling teenagers that public defenders simply will not do a good job for their clients, and that they should always hire a private attorney. It's even more frustrating that a teacher, someone in a profession that is overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated, would say such things about those also in a profession that is overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated. Would I be the asshole if I confront him about this? Kill him with kindness. Offer to go in and talk about your work. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. CC his boss when you send that polite email. The teacher has no business disrespecting any particular professions in class, and his doing so is kind of strange. What does it have to do with social studies? Edit. A couple other comments point out it may not be appropriate to contact their boss right away, as there might have been some misunderstanding on what OP's child picked up versus what the teacher actually said, intended. Best to clear that up first. Not the asshole, but ask for clarification from him on what he said. Then follow up with asking his experience with needing a public defender. I would be upset, as well, but I'm sure you know kids aren't always the most reliable narrators. I would speak to him and ask what exactly was said, and go from there. Not the asshole. Nah. Volunteer to come in and talk about your profession and let the kids ask what is and what's not constitutional. It's a topic that you are knowingly defensive about, and which you're only hearing secondhand from a 13-year-old. I think you don't have enough information to confront him. Raise it in your parent-teacher interview? Sure. But make it a fact-finding mission rather than a, I need to educate and correct you, mission. Info. Was he slamming PDs, or was he critiquing a system where PD workloads are so impossible they barely have the time or resources to do an adequate job? If you are thinking of confronting him, it makes a difference. Though I don't think I would confront regardless, it likely won't result in anything worth your time and stress. A scathing email will only confirm what he thinks because a real lawyer wouldn't be so defensive. Not the asshole, but don't do it that way. Does your daughter's school have a career day or something? Then you could go talk to her class about what your job actually is. It would be really great to compare how overworked, underpaid, and unappreciated you and teachers are in front of him as a teachable moment to the class and him.